Okay, fifth graders, I wanted to do a second review. This will be a fairly short video, and I might even just show it while we're in class here. Kind of undecided about that. But anyways, I'm going to start with looking at perimeter and then area and volume. And this is something you guys I've taught you this year. But let's look at, I don't know, let's call this number here, number 1 here. It's a yard. Let's say it's, well, a small yard, 12 feet by 3 feet. If I ask you what the perimeter was for that yard, how would you figure that out? Remember, perimeter is just the length. We're just talking about lengths, the lengths around a particular shape. I mean, the shape might not even be, music is getting loud. It might not even be shaped like a rectangle or a square. It could be, something like this. And then if I gave you the length of each one of these sides, let's say this was 2 feet, and this was 3 feet, and this was 6 feet, and this is 8 feet, and this one was 8 feet, and this one was 8 feet, and we'll say this one was 16 feet, and this one was, let's say, 12 feet. How would you figure out the perimeter of that crazy shape? Well, you would just add them all up, and that's really all you're doing in perimeter. You're just adding up the sides. So if they give you a shape and they ask for the perimeter, they're asking you to measure the sides of whatever shape it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sides there. So if this is 12 feet, then this is going to be 12 feet. And if this is 3 feet, then this is 3 feet. Well, what's 12 plus 12? 24. And then what's 3 plus 3? 6. What's 24 plus 6? So the perimeter equals 30 feet. And that's all it is. It's just 30 feet. We're just measuring. It's not 30 feet squared like you would if you were figuring out an area. It's not 30 feet cubed like if you were figuring out a volume. It's just 30 feet because you're just measuring the distances around a particular shape. Okay, so you might get a question where it says, what's the perimeter of this square? You might think to yourself, well, I only have one side, I have no idea. Remember, if it's a square, all 4 sides have the same length. So if this side is 4 inches, this is 4 inches, and then this is 4 inches, and this is 4 inches. Well, then what's the perimeter? Add up all 4 sides, 16. The perimeter equals 16 inches. Again, not 16 inches squared, because we're not talking about an area. It's not 16 inches cubed, because we're not talking about volume. So let's look at this one here. If they said, what's the area of this particular yard or this shape? Remember, area equals length times width. So, what's the length? It's 10 yards. What's the width? 6 yards. What's 10 times 6? 60. Area equals 60, and I'm just going to put YD for yards, and it's cubed. Remember? It's cubed because we're talking about sort of 2 measurements, so that would make sense. So just remember, whenever you talk about area, it's always cubed because you're just multiplying 2 sides, length and width. Now, let me ask you, would it matter, and you guys probably know the answer to this, would it matter if I did, in this particular case, it was 10 times 6, that equals 60. What if I did 6 times 10? Well, that's also 60. So it doesn't matter which one you multiply first, or which one you consider the length, or which one you consider the width. It wouldn't matter. When you multiply, 5 times 2 equals 10. Well, guess what? 2 times 5 equals 10. So, which one you consider the length and which one you consider the width is really irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. So let's look at the area, or not area, volume of a shape. I drew a box. It's the best I could do, sorry. And if you remember the formula for volume equals length times width times height. So there's three things we're multiplying. Three things. And again, that kind of makes sense. And when we get our answer, let's take a look here. So we have 4 times 2. If this is 4 feet and this is 2 feet, 4 times 2 is 8. And then it's 8 times 3, 24. So the volume equals 24 feet cubed. Why cubed? Because we're multiplying 3 sides together. So it would be a 3. Okay? So that was just, we haven't done a lot in the last few weeks on perimeter, area, and volume. So this was just a real quick refresher for you guys. And I'm going to do another one right now, a real quick refresher on graphing. So let's take a look at these, you guys. If I said, what's the location, or what are the coordinate pairs of A? Well, remember, it's always X. X is the first value. And I'm just going to put that up here, X, comma, Y. Whenever you see a coordinate pair, remember that X is always first. So we're going to go along the X line here till we line up with A. Here's A right there. We got to line up with that. So I'm going to travel along the X line here, and it looks like it goes to 2 right there. And then from there, so the first answer for A is 2, comma. Then I'm going to go up till I get to A, and it looks like it is to the 4. And so the Y is 4. So it's getting loud again here, but at least it's remaining classical and not going to some kind of movie theme. So 2, 4 for A. What's B? Anybody know what B is? Well, you should by now. Okay, B, going along the X value, goes to 7, and then it goes up 1. So 7, 1 is B. All right, now look at C. Oh, C's a little different there. It's right on that Y line. Well, how far, remember X is first, how far along the X line are you traveling? You're not. You just go straight up from 0. So for C, X is 0 and Y is, well, it's obviously 7. How about D? How far along the X do you travel? Well, it looks like you get to 3. Then how far up do you go? Well, you don't. You don't go up at all. You don't go along the Y value. So D is 3, and then you don't go up at all, it's 0. And then finally E, that's also called what? This point right there, where you haven't traveled along the X or the Y axis, it's 0, 0. And that's also called the origin. Remember, the origin. All right. Okay, that's it, you guys. Short video, and hopefully it serves as a good reminder, a refresher for some of the things you guys have learned in the last couple months. And that's it. Talk to you later.